Hey loves, welcome to a new video here on the channel. Um, I I think I mentioned it in my 2026 Chichokaigi, but to everyone's surprise, including my own, I did end up with an Our Studio journal this year, despite saying that I wasn't going to use one. And I am out also, even though I was originally going to do something else with it, I did decide that I would use it as a joy journal again this year. However, one big difference being that I am going to deconstruct it. So we are deconstructing this baby today. I think it should be fairly simple, just given the construction of the journal. Unlike the A5 Midori 1 day per page, that one was definitely not an easy deconstruction. But this one has a exposed binding, so I think that it should be fine, or at least fairly easy, as you can see there. Yeah, I think it should be good. So, and then another thing that I'm going to do a little bit differently is that I am going to leave a little strip of this so that it's a little bit easier to attach later. Yep. So I'm gonna kind of speed through this part. I'm not gonna leave it real time. I'll probably add some music, and I will catch you on the flip side once it is entirely deconstructed. If there's any commentary that I need to have throughout the video, then I will make sure to include that. But yeah, let's deconstruct this baby. I do like to be careful with the X-Acto knife because sometimes it can, I can do this little thing here where it breaks. Okay, so this one's a little bit different than the others because I think it's not glued. I don't have to really do much here like I would normally. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut through all of the different little, so I'm gonna get to the center of each signature, and I'm just going to snip at the threads there. And that should be simple enough. You want to be really careful of which side you are punching, which is why I really wouldn't skip this step. I would go through and make sure that every page is in the position that you want it to be for when you punch holes into it. Like, for example, that cover page, I went ahead and flipped it because I prefer having the year overview on the front side with the holes facing the left side of the spine. So just go through, make sure that the pages are in order in the right orientation before you punch holes. That's like my one recommendation when it comes to punching holes. I'm not super picky. If I end up punching holes on the wrong side, I will just punch holes on the separate one. But if you're someone who kind of gets a little bit perfectionist when it comes to those things, I would definitely spend a little bit of extra time just making sure that your pages are all in alignment and in order. The order can be fixed, but the important part of that is making sure that they are in the correct alignment. So when you punch holes in them, they end up going where you want them to. Hey loves, so I finished deconstructing it, but my main camera ran out of battery. Nonetheless, I wanted to show you, I did already decorate the first page, and as you would have seen, I decided to punch holes into that cover as well, and then I added double-sided tape to make these little flaps into pockets. And so on either side, I also went ahead and punched hole into this little envelope, vellum envelope that came with the notebook, and I didn't end up decorating the back just yet. I definitely will, but yeah, there we go. It is deconstructed. I will eventually probably have to separate this into 2 books, but for now, it is fine right here as it is. I have already tipped in something, which is the main reason why I wanted to deconstruct this one particularly. And then I did just want to show you what last year's looked like, the cover versus this year's. So you can kind of see there the differences. Yeah, I will give you some close-ups so you can see the cover in a little bit more detail. Hey loves. So I have just finished doing the setup for this. I didn't think I was gonna go as far as adding tabs and all that, but I just got super inspired after working on the cover and spending a little bit of time journaling the few spreads that I could that I just kept going and I finished setting it up. So I wanted to show you the finished kind of like setup before closing out the video. So the cover has a bunch of I used the actual cover like I mentioned or like you saw, and then I went ahead and added double-sided tape to the bottom to create pockets on either side. And then I used this vellum that came with the order of the Our Studio journal and I punched holes in it. So that's there in the back as another pocket. And on this one, I put the double-sided tape on both sides. So that is a full length pocket. And I have the two little postcards back here. I have a Hobonichi clear folder back here. And then this is here from last year that I didn't end up taking it out. And the clear cover with the front and back boards is just here tucked in the back for future stuff. Cover has two of the postcards that came with our studio journal. It has stickers from La Dolce Vita, from our studio, some of my printables as well, some washi tape from Mina Perhonen. There is some printables from, let's see, is there any Erin in this one? No, there's nothing from Erin, but there's from Susanna Bryant here, La Dolce Vita. These stickers are a collaboration between Hello Naya and Planned by Jaila. This was gifted to me by Mina. This is a sticker by Flesh PNG from one of their Patreon rewards from last year. And this is a stamp that I got from some things of mine. It's the stamp that I really love. So that's what's going on the cover. I haven't done any other deco in these areas. I usually just decorate that as I go. It ends up being kind of like overflow. And then I went ahead and I added 3 main tabs for the monthly, the weeklies, and the notes pages. And these are using Erin Ware tabs. She has a printable set with a bunch of printables and with a bunch of tabs. And I just go and as I need them, I cut them out. And this is what the monthly is looking like so far. I do have the intention is last year I would write it directly on the paper, but because this year the Our Studio journal, the paper isn't as kind as previous years. There's a lot of bleeding with fountain pen. But Tombow seems to do just fine. The brush pen that I use seems to do fine as well. And the Kakuno Fine with the Diamine Forever ink does pretty well. There is some minimal bleeding, and if I am a little bit light in my writing, it should be fine. So I'm kind of experimenting with that. As you can kind of see here, there's barely any bleeding. So there is some work to be done. I can kind of make it work. But for the most part, I am going to be tipping in the patrons instead this time instead of putting them directly on the spread. And I'm experimenting with different styles. I haven't 100% decided what is going to go where. Originally, I had thought that maybe I would put all of like my social media related things in the front cover or in the monthly spread, but I kind of decided to pivot with that now that I've actually been working on it. And so yeah, this does feature some of my printables from January as well. Last year I used the monthlies to highlight my printables, and so I think I'm going to do that again this year. And yeah, there's just some little bit of images here and there. And then in the weeklies, haven't done anything to the main page. I'll do that as I go. But this is kind of like what I've got going on. I do really like this spread. I was using ballpoint. I've been using the... Which one is it? I used the one from this year's Hobonichi launch 2026, the 0.38 unit Jetstream, because it's waterproof and so I can highlight. I've been using this highlighter a lot. This is the Tombow Fudenosuke. This is the Tombow brush pen in 062. I really like this color. It feels very canary yellow without it being super bright. And so I've been using this a lot in all of my journals this year. I think that this is the color that I'm going to primarily use for highlighting. So I want to make sure that whatever pen I use is waterproof so that it doesn't smear. And ballpoint pen does. I really love the Muji 0.38 gel pen, but it does tend to smear. So there's that. So I did this spread. I did this spread, which I don't really like. We already started and I'm like already not loving some of the spreads, which is absolutely fine. I am trying to see if I can establish a different style for this year's Joy Journal than last year, so we will see how that works out. I already started kind of doing that in this spread. As you can see, I did receive the Pocket Ranger. I'll talk about that in another video, but I really wanted to draw, so I just went ahead and sketched. I pasted the picture in, but then I sketched on top of it, and I quite like that. So I am just trying to develop a different style. And then in terms of the tabs again, I did use the Hobonichi tabs here on the side for the respective monthly timeframes. So I can go into, I have a general idea of where I need to go depending on where the month is, what month we're in. And then the notes pages are here in the back. I haven't done anything to them. I honestly am considering removing them. It's very likely that I'll end up removing them. I don't know. I haven't 100% decided. We shall see what I'll use them for if I end up using them. But for now, that's kind of like what's going on. And one of the main reasons why, oh, I also added some of the rest of my printables here to the other pages as well. I forgot. I really like the idea of tipping things in. If I get mail from different people, I will input that in here as well. So that's going to go in the Joy Journal. And yeah, I really want it to be kind of like a all around photo-ish album of like high level nice memories. I do have my printables. One of the things that I'm offering on Patreon now is monthly printables, and I think these are also going to be going into here because these have my wins. So I think that that's going to be living in here. So that'll also be something that I input into this journal. But that's what I got going on. That is the setup for the Our Studio Journal for 2026. Oh, this stamp is using the Trudeau Printy 4912. If you're interested, I will leave it linked down below, but it's basically like your own little letterpress. This was inspired by Hello Naya. I love it. I've been using it in all my journals, and it's really, really fun. It's definitely finicky and tedious, but I love the result quite a lot. So that is my Joy Journal for 2026. We are done here for real this time. I'll catch you guys in the next video.